Hey everyone, we're back with the second part of our Topic of the Week series, our autograph collection, this time talking about our Game of Thrones autograph collections. Now this is the poster Anna started, and we've got the same signatures on both posters. So this is hers, and this one here is mine. Mine's, of course, landscape, so it's taking up the entire picture, you can't see me. But same signatures on both posters. Since those weren't in frames, we're going to just talk about the posters here in our normal spot because it's kind of hard to hold them up and point out each signature. But we'll just talk about the signatures we got and the experiences that we had meeting the actors when we got the signatures. Now, a couple of them we actually did not get to meet. We sent the posters off with a couple of friends of ours to Dragon Con. And those were for Asha, who was played by Natalia Tina, and of course she's a wildling, right?
Yeah, she's the wildling that the Starks kind of take in.
Yeah, and she ends up babysitting Rickon, and she's actually not in the show or the book anymore, so far as we know. She took him off to be safe, and we basically never hear from her again.
Yep, so far.
And then we got the Lord Commander, who is played by James Cosmo, the very first Lord Commander.
Lord Commander Mormont.
Yep. And of course, we didn't get to meet him because we sent our posters away with a buddy to get them signed. And those were the only two that actually we got signed that we didn't get to meet.
And basically, they're minor characters that we didn't care a whole lot about, but we wanted their autographs. Mm-hmm. So we're like, yeah, we'll just send the poster. They can get the autograph for us, and we don't have to worry about having to go and get the autograph ourselves, since we couldn't.
Right. But the first three that we actually got were, first of all, Khal Drogo, played by Jason Momoa. And that guy is so cool. He is like the chillest dude on the planet.
Yeah, it probably did help that he was drunk as shit when we met him. He was plastered.
He was completely blasted, and so was the Hound, played by Rory McCann, who we got on the same day.
And they were sitting next to each other, and they were just kind of joking back and forth with each other. We went at the perfect time because they had zero line. We walked right up. They were sitting there chatting with us, and it was awesome.
Yeah, we timed it just perfectly because our buddies who took the posters to Dragon Con to get them signed, they got there right before we did. They're like, man, we had to wait for 40 minutes just to buy the tickets to get in. We're like, really? We
walked right in.
We walked right up, said, hey, we're here for them. And they said, all right. We walked right up, no problems. Yeah. But they were really, really cool. And at the same time, we got to meet Arya Stark, played by Maisie Williams. And this was, around season 2, right?
Yeah, I think so. Either season 2 or season 3, but I think season 2.
I think it was season 2, so she was still really, really young, and I think it might have been one of her very first convention appearances outside of Comic-Con, because she just seemed completely just culture shocked.
And she is extremely poised for such a young woman. When we met her, she was a couple of years younger than she is now, and I was just very, very impressed with her. Yeah. She was so mature and very poised. It was pretty awesome meeting her.
She would have been, 12 or 13 or something like that. So, for a young woman of that age, she was very together. You were cosplayed as Daenerys. I was cosplaying Ser Jorah. And she was like, I love your guys' costumes. That's awesome. And she kind of squeed a little bit, which was really cool because we're like, we're squeeing too. Yay! And that was at Tampa Bay Comic-Con. And then the next year at Tampa Bay Comic-Con, same con, we met Prince Oberyn, played by Pedro Pascal. And that is another really cool guy.
Yeah, he was really, really cool.
It made me wish that Prince Oberyn had lived longer because, when I was reading the novel, didn't really care about him that much. He died. I was like, oh, well, that's kind of a bummer. I kind of liked him. But then actually meeting the actor who played him on the show, it was like, oh, he's so cool. I wish his character had lived longer.
Yeah.
And then at the same con, we met Robb Stark, played by Richard Madden. And he is... all the Game of Thrones people have been really cool.
Yeah, thus far we have had great interactions with them. They've all been really, really cool.
Yeah. Let's see, what were you cosplayed at that con? It wasn't a Game of Thrones. That was Domino, and I was cosplayed as a generic Star Trek character. And even he was like, I loved your costumes, that's awesome. So I get the impression that he hasn't done a whole lot of cons outside of Comic-Con. Because he was just kind of just taking it all in, and kind of like Maisie Williams was, just culture shocked. Yeah, the Game of Thrones people have been really, really cool. We've got a bunch of other autographs that we're going to talk about next week. We'll do our Walking Dead autographs. Mm-hmm. All right, so Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.